What's good, everybody? Welcome to Hoviews. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and we are jumping into another movie news wrap-up. So there was a lot of different things I could have choose from this week to come in and talk about and, wrap up the week as far as movie news stories that interested me. But I only picked three just to make it a real quick week. And so we'll start off with the Amber Midthunder Jack Quaid movie. So I'm reading the synopsis. This is an action thriller that follows a bank executive who has a rare genetic condition preventing him from feeling physical pain. So when his bank is robbed, his greatest liability becomes his greatest strength. And this is titled Novocaine. And so that sounds a whole lot like Kick-Ass to me. And I'm fine with that. I really enjoyed Kick-Ass when it came out, and I like the sequel to that as well. The bigger point about this one that really makes me want to come in and talk about it is Amber Midthunder getting another role. I was so impressed with Prey. The fact that that movie, first of all, was marketed in a way that it was slightly mysterious. We didn't know what genre that we were getting. You just knew that we were getting something in the Predator universe. And then the ideas of the Predator in that time period, her being a female lead in a tribe that wasn't accepting of hunters. It's just, I like that movie so much. And her role there, to me, just really came together well. It showcased her talents really, really well to start off with, but I haven't heard anything from her or about her since then. And so to see her get this in what I feel like is a pretty cool little premise, a little cool synopsis, I like it. It's going to be probably something that's entertaining. You also have Jack Quaid taking the lead, and I like that because he's not really like known to lead films, but I think he's going to be the main guy here, and him being the main guy and having that ability to overcome and a very unlikely look about him, I think that matches up really well. So I like it, and I'm looking forward to seeing that come out. That little bit of news dropped, and I was like, oh, this caught my attention. I want to talk about this. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited to see more Amber Midthunder? I think she's gonna, if she does well here, it'll be like the start of a little run for her, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Also, do you have any thoughts or opinions on Jack Quaid? I like him in The Boys. That's why I really fell in love with him as an actor, and I've seen him pop up in other things, but never in the lead. So I'm looking forward to seeing him lead here. Moving to the next story, this is about Netflix adaptation of The Last Airbender. So I haven't seen it. I didn't get any kind of early screenings or anything like that, but I just have been seeing all week long. There's no real official news that I'm reporting on here. It's just a bunch of different things that have come out this week, and the reaction on Twitter has been so down on what this adaptation will be that I'm prepared to say that fans of the original Airbender cartoon probably won't like the show. People like me that never saw the Airbender cartoon will probably love the adaptation. And it's because they're changing so many things. And the one part that I have that is a kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for, like a press release, you get this line that starts a IGN article. I didn't click on the article and read through it, but the headline reads, Netflix live action Avatar, The Last Airbender is a remix, not a cover. Now, to me, as a person who used to do music and who just understands music lingo, that makes perfect sense. We are not recreating the animated show. We are doing our version of the animated show. And I would expect some of those changes to be made. Like they talked about one of the characters being super sexist in the beginning. And then the avalanche of response was, well, you're taking out a lot of his arc because he grows through the show. And it's like, yeah, well, he's not going to hear it. And people just don't want to hear it. Another angle that they are taking out of this show is that they are taking out the Aang, our main character, is young and jovial and joyful, and he goes through all kind of side quests and side adventures, and you won't see that here. He's not going to be as jovial. It's going to be a little more serious and somber. And people was just like, yo, he grows into the serious somber. You're taking all that away from the audience, and it's like, it's because they're not making the exact same thing beat for beat. And so I get it. And I think I'm highly anticipating all the visuals that I've seen. It's impressive stuff. But at the same time, I know that like my best friend who's big on the Avatar cartoon, I don't think he's going to love it as much as I will. I think me and my wife will watch it and we'll feel it. Whereas other people who saw the cartoon growing up just probably won't feel it. They also talked about like the genocide or the mass murder of Aang's people or one of the groups of people they never show. They just talk about in the cartoon. They're gonna show it here, and it's like people was like, yo, you're doing too much to change it. And I don't think that they're doing too much to change it. I think that this one probably will be a successful adaptation, just based on the fact that you're going to have a large portion of people, hopefully like myself, that haven't seen it and don't come in with a lot of preconceived notions. But those fans of the animated show, ugh, I feel like they're already primed to hate this thing. Hopefully they can overcome it because it does look very good. All the visual stuff, the trailers, have been very nice. And so let me know where you fall. Did you watch the original animated show, and does that mess with your expectations for what this is going to be? Or are you a person more like me that I'm just open. I'm just open to see what happens and where it goes. And so I love to hear back from people because I didn't see a stitch of it growing up. So I'm ready to see what they give us adaptation wise. We know the live action film, I did watch that, the M. Night Shyamalan one, trash. And so hopefully anything that we get here is much better than we get there. I'll be satisfied. But again, drop a comment, let me know. Last thing I want to talk about is kind of a sad one, somber one. The passing of Carl Weathers. And so uh, I grew up with Action Jackson. I grew up with Apollo Creed. I grew up with Predator, the OG Predator. And so I was really shocked to see that he passed. I know some people do the thing where, like, soon as a person passes away, they go straight to the property that that person has most recently worked on, and they ask all these questions about, well, what about this and what about that? You think they're going to recast this? It's like that's not the thought that come to my mind when I think about Carl Weathers. My immediate reaction, my immediate thoughts of Carl Weathers passing was just, okay, he's how old? And then, it comes out, oh, he's like 70, 75, something like that. He's in his 70s. And I actually go and I look at some of his social media posts, and I'm seeing him there, and it's like, yeah, he is up there in age. And people at that age do pass away. And I just never thought about it. It's a reminder to a person who's my age, approaching 40, is that you're aging. The Apollo Creed, that was Apollo Creed when you were a child, is an old man now. And yes, you see him in Mandalorian and he looks good and he looks capable and he does all this stuff in the Mandalorian, but like, he's aged. Years have caught up with him. And Father Time is undefeated. Nobody gets out of life alive. And so I was shocked that, oh, he passed away. The thought of like, oh, he works on Mandalorian, they might recast him. The thought didn't cross my mind. It was just a reminder, like, hey, time is passing for everyone. And so the people I grew up watching as a child and idolized growing up or saw growing up, it's like, oh, they're getting up there, and soon they won't be there, and eventually you'll be the people who's up there. It's like, crazy stuff, mind-blowing stuff. But Carl Weathers will be missed. He did a lot of good stuff, and I'm glad that at his passing we didn't get a bunch of like an avalanche of bad stuff from the past that came up. It's just, hey, let's celebrate his life. uh, all express our condolences and how much we'll miss seeing him in these roles or doing these things and showing up. And let's talk about the impact that he had. Like the Sylvester Stallone did a video, man, and then you get a lot of other stuff coming out with Rocky and the practicing of the fights and the perfection that Stallone and Carl Weathers put into it, like the hours of choreography. Oh my goodness. All the time and effort they put into making those scenes so iconic, and that's why they still live on and have the impact that we have today. You take Carl Weathers out of Rocky, you don't even have the Creed films that we just got over the last few years. And so, huge impact. Very sad to see that he's not there, but at the same time, life well lived, apparently. And hopefully we don't get anything coming out that would try to stain or take away from his legacy, because he did very good throughout Hollywood over the years. And so those are my thoughts on Carl Weathers passing. Don't care at all about what they do with his character on The Mandalorian. It's an afterthought. It's more about looking at the legacy. The legacy was solid. Those are all my thoughts on the movie news that dropped last week. I'm sure there's a lot more that I could have talked about, but I just wanted to pick three. Come in, do a quick one, and I'll get back to doing these. I'm enjoying doing these. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far, and that's all we got for this one. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.